Well, if you're a company that's investing on a larger scale with the host state, let's say some kind of a concession agreement or part of a privatization initiative, you would sign a contract with the host state, and you'd put in that contract, we want investor-state dispute settlement. We want arbitration to resolve our disputes. And I would advise any company doing that, and even a smaller company, try to do it. Right. If you don't have the bargaining power, the worst that's going to happen is the host state will say no. I would always try to put in an arbitration clause in any kind of a commercial contract with a sovereign government. And so that's one of the ways that you would ensure the continued use of ISDS. And if I was advising a state, I would say put it in your treaties, sign it, put that into your contract with investors, and put it into your treaties. So that would be my advice. You use contracts where you can, and if you're a country signing a treaty, leave it in.
Are there any interesting statistics or studies that have been done, like how much this, let's call it, to a certain extent, it's an insurance, has paid off, or like how it has benefited companies investing?
All kinds of studies, and the most of the studies have looked at the link between bilateral investment treaties and FDI flows. And to be honest, the studies have been all over the place and not really conclusive. Right. And a lot of studies came out just after the financial crisis in the early teens. And I always felt that was a little bit sleight of hand, because they would get, oh, look at all this FDI from 2008. And look at all this FDI from 2010. Oh, look, there's been a sharp drop. Oh, well, look, the treaty didn't do anything. Well, you're fiddling the numbers because that was when there was a global financial crisis. It's like quoting FDI statistics in the COVID era and blaming it on investment treaties.
Yeah, you have to understand basic statistics for sure.
Yes. If you pick different years, you're going to get a different spike. And I wonder, is it unfair to expect the treaties to necessarily lead to increases in FDI? What about just maintaining FDI? The fact that a treaty can maintain a level of FDI suggests that investors are not scared because there's been new governments or new kinds of regulations. So there's all different ways of looking at that. And we need more studies in that. And I always say, whenever I meet an economist that does statistical work, please do studies, because I can't do it. I'm not a numbers person. I would love to see more on that. The other data that perhaps you were alluding to, because you had asked about investment contracts or putting this in contracts. So ICSID, which is the institution that has a system of rules that does ISDS, it's the leading one. They have statistics on the number of disputes coming out every year, and whether they're coming from treaties, the treaty-based claims, or contract-based claims. And interestingly, the number of contract-based claims is gradually creeping upwards. So my theory is, even if every treaty, every free trade agreement, every investment treaty drops ISDS, if it's categorically gone from all the treaties, and all the academics are delighted and they all pat themselves on the back for defeating ISDS, it will persist in investment contracts. And again, I would say to an investor, if it's absent from the treaty between your home government and the state you're investing in, put it in the contract. So I think you're going to see it's about 12% now. It's going to be 12, 13, 14, 20, 25, 30, and you're going to start to see a lot more claims coming through ISDS to organizations like ICSID based on contractual clauses rather than on treaties.